Welcome back to part 29 of Oracle of Ages. God, it's been a long time since we did this, and we are still traveling through Jabu Jabu.
More switch hook puzzles.
Well, not really more switch hook puzzles. I could have, gone through that without using the switch hook at all.
I kind of like this particular level's use of height gimmicks.
Yeah, I will grant that the height gimmicks in Jabu Jabu are fine, but nothing else is.
It is, in fact, it is the only redeeming quality of this entire level, is that you actually see some things that you don't see in other dungeons. Whoa. At least the treasure chest was on the way to the path you're supposed to go and not a thing in itself.
Right. And welcome to the mini-boss that'll almost certainly kill me.
Really?
Yeah, I am not good against this particular mini-boss.
He is a little tricky because of that bubble that he sends out. It's also difficult to predict when it's going to show up.
Well, all you really need to do for this fight is hit him with a sensi and then hit the lamp on him.
Right. Oh, you poor optimist. Mind you, hitting the lantern on him is actually the hard part. Knocking him down is actually quite simple. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's just a duck in the water now. You just start slashing him as soon as the sensi pops him. I've never really had that much trouble with this particular mini-boss. I'd say the hardest part is just figuring out how to beat him. In which time, you'll probably take a lot of damage. Down you go.
At this point, it's just a battle of attrition.
At this point, it's a battle to stay alive against a gigantic blowfish.
There, got it. There's the fairy.
For some reason, I spent a couple seconds trying to figure out what part of Jabu Jabu's anatomy we're in.
I hate this part of the dungeon. I spent 2 hours in this dungeon going in circles because I couldn't figure out how to open that key block.
I feel your pain, my good sir.
I had the small key. I was right here. I was totally able to do it, but yeah. It took me 2 hours to open that key block.
It also took me a very long time to figure out that you can actually open key blocks while you're underwater. Oh, and it looks like you just figured out you can move over pits.
I didn't figure that out just now, no. The 2 hours that I cut out of this fucking dungeon are when I figured that out.
Just why? Is this dungeon challenging?
Oh, I still can't solve this puzzle. Nope, I gotta go up. I gotta use the Cane of Samari on that puzzle, and I can't use the Cane of Samari underwater.
Is the challenge that this dungeon offers us really fair or warranted? Or is it just, like, as stupidly hard as you and I make it out to be?
No, this dungeon is not difficult. It isn't. However, it's very fucking confusing.
Well, that's the difficulty.
But it's not difficult at all. This is the most linear dungeon in this game, and I promise you that. The problem is, the problem here isn't even really figuring out what you're supposed to do. It's that the things that you're supposed to do aren't really explained to you. So you have to experiment with the shit. But the shit that you have to experiment with.
Yeah, like. I agree that a lot of experimentation, rather, is basically required to make it through here. Especially, like you demonstrated, you got stuck on the key block because you didn't think you could open the key block, and it's totally understandable because you...
No, I tried to open the key block, but I was unable to successfully open it because I'm like, well, I'm in the mermaid suit. Pressing and holding a direction doesn't do anything. Except when you're on a fucking key block.
Yeah, the one exception to the rule. And especially because, if you fail at the first onset, you're assuming that you're hitting hitting a wall, basically, then that's the game telling you, or rather, you perceive that's the game telling you that you shouldn't be doing that because it doesn't work. No, you just weren't doing it long enough.
Right.
God damn it.
I know where I need to go here, but unfortunately, past me didn't remember to cut out a large portion of it. Yeah, I have to go back up here to actually set up. I have to set up the water level to be up 2 stages, which means setting it up, well, 1 stage and then going all the way back around the dungeon to do it a second time.
If only they gave you a shortcut to just get you up here, but it seems like the only I call this part of the dungeon, where did I put my car keys? Oh, we spend the rest of the dungeon hunting the 3 keys we need for this room. I hate this dungeon. I hate this dungeon too, Gerda. Oh, yes.
But who hates it more?
That is a good question.
Alright, now you hate this dungeon because you spent, like, you had a really bad experience with, you know, leaving the game and coming back to this dungeon, right?
I spent an eternity on this dungeon basically for that reason.
Thankfully, I did not have that particular experience. However, I did spend 3 hours in this dungeon.
3 hours is not enough time.
Alright. Do not hit the red thing.
Well, why don't you just go up and hit the blue thing again?
Because past me is an idiot.
Oh, you did it. You did it. Now you needed the jump cut. Okay. Now we're on the ground floor.
Mind you, I did need to set it down to base level so I could actually solve this particular puzzle.
You need the cane of Samaria now, and you couldn't use the cane underwater. Alright, well now at least the dungeon has lightened up, because now you have the switch hook extension, and you can actually do all the things that you couldn't do before.
I'm going to spend the rest of the dungeon jump cutting around.
Which is good, because I don't think I'm fazed by it anymore. I just accept it. Jump cut. Oh, what a grand little facade for the treasure chest. It's like, look at all these torches. Look how brightly lit and ceremonious it looks. This is the boss key, by the way. You better remember to come back here. Look at the torches!
No, this one's the boss key. This is the boss key room.
No, it's the one.
Are you sure? I could have sworn that was the boss key.
If you go up, you'll hear the compass make the chime that indicates that there's a. Okay, well, it won't now because you jump cut it, but you enter that room with the chest surrounded by the torches. The compass indicates that there's a key in that room. Are we near Jabu Jabu's brain?
No, we are not near Jabu Jabu's brain. We are still in his intestines.
But we're on the top floor.
And?
The top floor is normally the head.
Yeah, no. Jabu Jabu just has 3 layered intestines.
His brain is just another intestine.
So I was wrong.
2 more keys to go. Wherever could they be? Fuck you, armored creatures.
Now, you would hope, and you would pray, and you would do all these other religious things, hoping and praying, and sacrificing small goats to your paganistic lords, that they would actually put the treasure chest that's up in that room would be, you know, a small key. But it's not.
Well, Gerda, you said yourself, the dungeon is not. It's just confusing. Is its only major challenging aspect. It's just finding where it is you haven't been or haven't done. It occurred to me off recording that maybe keeping notes would help you.
This room is where it is.
This room.
You know, this room that's been taunting me for the entire fucking dungeon because I can't do it.
You only couldn't do it Well, you can enter this. You can enter this room.
You can enter this room at any point during the dungeon, but until it's totally flooded, you can't do anything in it.
Oh, we're on the second floor. That's right. So you had to get the switch hook extension in order to get there.
Yes.
Fucking dungeon progression. Yeah, and on top of everything else, it's like this dungeon doesn't want you to be here any more than you want to be here. That's why I keep playing this incessant music. It hates you.
It does hate you.
It wants you to.
Which is.
It wants you to know it. More jellyfish. Swim! Swim!
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming.
How many more keys do you have to get?
This is the last key that I need, thankfully.
Okay, so we're almost to the boss room.
Yes. One thing that I actually really like about the Switch Hook extension is that it's actually much faster than the Switch Hook.
Yeah. I can't remember if the boss of this dungeon is that difficult.
No, he's not.
Which is good, because the last thing you want in a challenging dungeon is a challenging boss.
But this isn't a challenging dungeon, it's just annoying.
How does one qualify a challenge? Is it the amount of time it takes you to beat it, or just the number of tries?
The actual difficulty is the thing that I qualify as a challenge. This is not a difficult dungeon, it really isn't, but it's still the worst dungeon in the game.
Because it's confusing.
Yeah. I will say that Ancient Rock is actually, not that great of a dungeon, but it's much better than this dungeon, most certainly. Ancient Tomb, sorry.
It's just, everything looks the same in this dungeon. It's very easy to get lost.
Boom, boss key.
Stupid-ass, like, pulsating walls that, like, you're either creeped out, you're either as creeped out by them as you are the music, or just, you just stop caring, and it fades into your peripheral vision. It's just a bunch of purples and yellows. Ooh, it's evil. Ooh.
Except it's not evil. It's Jabu Jabu.
Jabu Jabu is evil. He keeps eating evil things, therefore he becomes evil. You are what you eat.
Okay. Getting to the boss room in this dungeon is actually another big pain in the ass, because there's a very specific path that you have to take to get there, and it causes you to run around the entirety of the second floor.
I can't...
You have to figure out how to get up there.
You have to go... Yep. And for some reason, they put the shortcut from the mini-boss right in that room.
Oh, no. Go back over there. Go back over there, Demon.
You're on your way.
This is how you get there.
Yep. Do not step on the teleporter.
Wonder how long it took me to figure that out?
Very long time.
Actually, no, I figured that out really quickly, but I can definitely see where the fuck that would be really confusing for people, because that's not the symbol that says, hey, you can surface here.
Also, you have to fight this boss underwater. Oh, right, I keep thinking that this boss is Baronade because of Ocarina of Time. This is not Baronade.
Now, this boss is... yes, that is how you beat this boss. You do not spam your sword at him. Actually, your sword does no damage to him, and it's not a tennis boss either. What this boss is match the opposing colors.
Twin Rova, except jellyfish. Jellyfish Rova.
No, wait for him to shoot at you, then switch hook him.
Right.
Do this like do this like 5 times, he's dead.
This is all he does. He doesn't spawn moves, he doesn't spawn other attacks. He just spawns that one gigantic ball and then occasionally tries to shock you. In the next
and he's
part,
dead.
We'll get the heart container and the essence of time.
Got the heart container.